often, but we do have the opportunity right here, right now, at the outset of the show to go live to Oakmont, where the three-time ACC Coach of the Year, maybe more famous for having been my co-host on Beyond the Tips and SiriusXM PGA Tour Radio, Trey Jones, is on the course, and he's got three guys playing this week, including an amateur in Tyler Weaver, and he joins us on the Jeff Cameron Show right now. Hello, good sir. How are you?
Jeff, I'm doing great. And no question, the top of my resume is working with you on SiriusXM. So.
Well, the list of accomplishments are too long for me to go through. I could have gone the 39 All-American honors in your time here and the 18 consecutive NCAA regional appearances and all the good stuff. But I know you're proud right now, almost like a proud papa, because you get a kid in Tyler Weaver who qualifies. And, of course, everybody knows Brooks is playing, and everybody knows, obviously, Daniel Berger is playing. But I guess, where do we start? Let's start with Tyler Weaver. Your thoughts on the challenge before him and the accomplishment to have qualified to play in this U.S. Open.
Well, everybody that's on this putting green right now with me is happy to be here. You know, and it doesn't matter if you're an amateur or a Hall of Famer. This is where you want to be. And just to be here is an honor, and as a coach, to be here with a player is just so proud of them for the experience that they're going to get.
It is remarkable, and you've had a lot of players be able to accomplish a lot of things, and I've talked about that before, that the chances to go out there and watch these guys play, and I know they make you proud and the university proud. Can we talk about Oakmont itself? You're there. I've watched the videos. It looks impossible if you're in the rough, but talk to my listeners about Oakmont. I mean, this is, to me, one of the very, very best U.S. Open courses that they play. I think this is a remarkable place.
Well, it's the hardest U.S. Open course, and that's, you know, might be debatable with some people, but not with the people up here. And, you know, the story goes that if you gave them a week, they could host the U.S. Open at any point in time during the year. So it plays this way all the time. It just doesn't let up. I mean, it's long and tight with thick rough and fast slopey greens. So at no point in time are you out of the golf hole.
Trey, what's the weather like this week there? What are we going to be watching? Anything inclement or windy to go along with the brutality of the course layout in the rough?
So we got lucky early in the week. We got some rain on Sunday and a little bit on Monday to soften it up. But we're not going to get any more until Saturday. And I think you'll see the scores on Thursday and Friday be pretty high. And if they get that rain on Saturday, then these guys are good enough. It doesn't matter. They'll figure out a way if it's soft. So the scoring on the weekend should be a little bit better, but it's going to be brutal right out of the gate. I can't even imagine, if you don't know where your ball's going, what could happen to you out here.
Trey, I know you don't have to say anything to, you know, alums like Brooks and Daniel who've been through this a bunch. What do you say when you get out there and you're walking with Tyler and you've had the chance to be out there on the course with him? What you've had opportunities over the years, whether it be at the Masters, and I had the chance to go with you the one time there, and you've had players be in these positions, John Pack, and I think about these moments for you, and it's all at once, you know, obviously something that's rewarding, but also it's business. It's time to do work. These are good players. What do you talk to him about?
It's funny. I'm literally on the putting green right now, rolling balls back to him as we talk. There you go, buddy. You talk about not changing anything and just being who you are, and nothing changes. It's just, you're just on a different place at a different time. And that sounds all good and well, but we know it is a U.S. Open and something you haven't done before, and it's a big excitement, but you really just try to tell them to focus on the things they can control and do the best they can. And it's going to be hard for everybody, but probably the best thing for Tyler has been walking around with Brooks yesterday and having Brooks, thank you, but having Brooks tell him, you know, it's okay to be 4 over. You know, when you're 4 over, you're not out of it. And, you know, don't make a sick. If you get in trouble, let's just get it out. And you've got a 2-time major champion, you know, treating you like you're his big brother, and there's nobody else in this field that he would have. And so That's just an incredible opportunity for him to walk around and do that.
One thing I learned a lot from you, Trey, when we did the show together, and one thing I know for sure is that the players themselves, even though they'll be nervous, everybody gets nervous, they don't look around in awe at fellow professional golfers or elite golfers because that's not the mentality that they have. So has Tyler really been able to kind of just play around there and yeah, it's the best in the world. It's elite players everywhere, but because he's got a guy, one of his own in Brooks Koepka that he's hanging out with, who's won this thing a couple times. I mean, like that's got to be, I don't know how you would describe that other than relaxing and really informative in a way beyond most people ever have the opportunity to pick a brain like that.
Absolutely. And Brooks is so great about that. And his caddies helping him and helping me. And so Brooks at the last Open here, people, kind of forget, but he had an 8 under through 11 on the final day. He shot 5 under on the front 9, pulled out on 10 and chipped in on 11 and was 2 off of Dustin to lead. And Dustin had not even teed off. So there's just a lot of good vibes, but it does relax Tyler, I'm sure, to feel like that he's got a big brother out here with him.
Really quick, and I'll let you go because you're out there doing work. How's Brooks looking off the tee? I know he fought it a bit recently, but his style of major's made for him, obviously. How's he feeling off the tee?
That's a great point. This golf course is made for him because it's going to require toughness. And he has put a Titleist driver in his bag and really drove it well yesterday. And he's confident with it. This the one thing with Brooks is just the reps. He hasn't gotten all the reps that he normally gets. And if he can just get out and get off to a good start, then I really would expect him to play well here and have a chance. So it's going to depend on that. But he's in a good headspace. But he is driving the ball well, and once you do that, that's about 75% of it out here.
Brother, thanks for checking in from Oakmont. Go enjoy it. Take it all in as you always do. Do your work, and I'll talk to you when you get back. It's always a pleasure, brother.
Good, man. Hey, I tried to pull your Pirates on last.
There's only so much you can do, buddy. Take care.
All right.
That's Trey Jones at Oakmont on the putting green with Tyler Weaver, who is a rising junior at Florida State, plucked from England, where they've had success recruiting here. Trey has, and really the golf team has, whether it be women or men. And, it's cool we say this all the time about football. In football, when you watch the draft and then fast forward to the season and you tune into any given NFL game, when you see a bunch of Noles out there, puff your chest out a little bit and feel pretty good about it. And in golf, they've got a bunch. They've got a bunch out there. They've had a lot of success, none more so than Brooks Koepka. And so we shall see how this goes. I cannot fathom, and I talked to so many players when I co-hosted that show that were rising stars in the game of golf, like nationally, internationally, but then obviously here at Florida State, watching guys come through the program. And I was always blown away by the fact that none of them seemed to be flustered by either venue or the caliber of player that they're next to. I remember John Pack playing a U.S. Open, and Tiger Woods was the hole behind him. And this is in a practice round. And, Trey called me from the course and shows me the video of Tiger Woods hitting from behind them into them on the green in a practice round. And I thought, I would be so flustered. We're holding Tiger Woods up. We got to get it moving, Trey. But they don't ever think that way. It's amazing.
Incoming. Here we go. Heads up, everybody.
But I mean, it's awesome. And Weaver, by the way, is a kid that has gone low when he's needed to go low. I mean, including in qualifying, went low. And that is a skill that, not all professional golfers have, by the way. Not every pro can go 63, 62. You see a few guys that can. Obviously, a guy like Justin can. He's been known, break records, shoot a 61. But a lot of guys don't do that. They'll shoot 65, 66, and they may even do it back-to-back days and go on to win the tournament. Not everybody goes down to 63. We've seen Weaver shoot a 63, so I'm not saying he's going to do that at Oakmont. This has got to be an incredible test, but he has shown the propensity to go low.
I had forgotten, and I'm a resident Brooks Koepka major expert. I had forgotten that he was going low for the final round last time it was at Oakmont. That was the one that Dustin Johnson was assessed a penalty stroke down the stretch.
2016.
That guy has seen more final round hijinks than anybody in history. But, there was the Whistling Straits major in which he was in the sand area, which was nonsense because the fans were all trampling it. But then at Oakmont, if I recall correctly, he was assessed a one-stroke penalty on the fly during the final round, and he hit that majestic shot from 200-plus out on the 72nd hole to stick it and say, no playoff today, everybody.
6-iron to within a couple of feet. Yeah. That was a -4 was your winning score there.
But I had forgotten that Brooks was going super low because that's not Brooks' style. Now, one of his U.S. Opens is at Erin Hills, where I think it was him versus Brian Harman, and the both of them went super low, like well into the double digits. The USGA was embarrassed by that season. Brooks would end up winning at Shinnecock, where it was like, +1 or +2 was the winning score. They got it right. But he's not typically that kind of guy. If it's around par, that's usually a major where he gets going. I'm very interested to hear that he put a new driver in the bag because at the PGA, he was fighting a two-way miss, a big-time two-way miss. Now, if he's driving the ball well, look out and put some money for at least the top 10 on your boy Brooks.
Daniel Berger is considered a sleeper by most in this tournament as well. His game is rounded into form. So you got, 3 Knowles in the field right now, and it'll be exciting to see. By the way, you want to just see how much the game has changed and how people like Jack and Arnie and obviously later Tiger changed the purses. The famed Johnny Miller 1973 score of 279 -5 at Oakmont for the U.S. Open Championship. You know what she won for winning in 73?
Oh, God, 80 grand?
$35,000.
Oh, no.
In 1973, won $35,000. If you want to forward to Ernie L's victory, which you probably do remember in 94 at Oakmont, also 5 under, won in a playoff. Good old Ernie. What do you think he won in 94?
$115?
$320,000.
Way off.
Now we're going to go to the one you just referenced, which was Dustin Johnson in 2016, and that was $1,800,000, and now we're well over that. So in a short amount of time, this thing is skyrocketed to where guys take home millions upon millions. But yeah,
a little bit of breaking news for the first segment. Happy birthday.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that. And I just realized some folks said that in the chat. I hadn't been in the chat to start the show, but I always appreciate it. Thank you, Steve. Happy birthday, Jeff. Enjoy the day. Thanks for all the great content. Looking forward to seeing you guys for the Virginia Tech game in the fall. Look forward to it, Steve. Thank you very much. And to everybody else who's reached out to me today, social media and email and the like, I very much appreciate it. These things come too quickly these days in succession. It feels like I just had my birthday and now I'm having yet another one, but I'm a lucky man to be able to talk sports with you guys every day, talk specifically Florida State as much as we do, to be happily married and have a beautiful family, and lucky enough to have 2 beautiful boys and great friends like my dear, dear friend Tom Lang right here. I'm a lucky man. Can't complain. Put a smile on my face when I woke up this morning, recognizing how fortunate I've been.
And you will be celebrating said fortunes with margaritas later?
Probably.
All right.
I've been known to imbibe, and then I'm leaving town, not tonight, but first thing in the morning. No show Thursday and Friday. We're going to do a combo birthday, Father's Day thingy, Perdido Key.
Very nice.
So take it to the beach.
This is far enough away, though, that you do get double the presents. A Wednesday to a Sunday. That's plenty of space.
I hope my family pays attention to that very noteworthy statistic, that it is far enough away.
Which reminds me, I got to send my pops a cheesecake. I got to do that today, saying it out loud so I don't forget for Father's Day this weekend. Got to make sure to do that.
Chef Cameron Show 93.3, Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
The weather is unpredictable and can cause issues around your home. Weston Trawick provides commercial, residential, and industrial electrical wiring services, yearly inspections on fire alarms, portable generator sales, and so much more. With 24/7 emergency service and repair, Weston Trawick will be your calm in the storm. Give them a call at 514-0003. Weston Trawick. Professional electrical services day or night. Visit online at westontrawick.com.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
No matter how busy life gets, your home is the place where your family and friends show you they care and celebrate with you. That's why the professionals at Barano Heating and Air Conditioning always make sure your home is comfortable. Just like those who matter to you most, Barano will always be there for you.
This is Tyler from Barano Heating and Air. Now you can schedule an appointment, purchase or renew your service agreement, or pay your bill from your mobile device. Any day, anytime, anywhere. When you turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air, online at baranoac.com.
Florida license number CAC 1816186.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
What a week, right? And I believe they were the exact same age. Sly Stone died earlier this week at the age of 82, and now we learn that Brian Wilson is dead from the Beach Boys at the age of, I think, 82 as well. And no matter your stance on the Beach Boys, people are very opinionated on the Beach Boys most of the time. I am too, oddly, on both sides. Because Pet Sounds is a masterpiece and the rest of the Beach Boys catalog can go to hell. I would also say that God Only Knows is one of the greatest pop songs ever written, and they've also been responsible for writing some of the worst schlep I've ever heard. Really quite crazy to be
so rest in peace, Brian Wilson.
really quite crazy that you could be on both sides of that fence, but there they were. And obviously defined the California sound in the early 60s. And Brian Wilson, who later on had all kinds of mental problems, and I'm not making fun of that, making light of that, but, staying in bed for weeks on end is an interesting choice. That had to have been rather frustrating. But Brian Wilson, dead today at the age of 82, I believe it is. Back to back. You ever see any of the documentaries on that, on his genius?
No.
It's unbelievable. It's like he's the kind of genius that you can't really live with.
Right.
Yeah.
If you use more than a few percent of your brain.
Yeah, like that kind of genius.
Mm-hmm.
And there are these little moments in various documentaries where it stands out. We're like, okay. I see you're on another world.
So that's why he was awkward always in interviews.
Always.
Just because
he was on another
up
plane.
Here.
Yeah, he's in another plane, man. He was doing things hearing things that people couldn't hear, and you're like, okay. All right.
So ghosts are real, as you know.
Go find yourself out there in the universe, buddy. All right, let's circle back. Pirates 1-0. That's what you wanted me to lead with today, guys. They lead 1-0 in the fourth on my birthday. Come on, let's get it done.
A quick footnote on golf, just to put a ribbon on it ahead of your wagers. Of course, I'm sure they're coming today.
Yep.
FSU will be featured in the afternoon in round 1. Tyler Weaver got stuck at the end of the line. He's one of the last tee times out there, 2:31 p.m. with a couple of dudes you never heard of. Daniel Berger goes out off of number 1 nearly at 2 p.m. Again, very late in the day on day 1. He's playing with Joaquin Neiman and Bud Colley. And then Brooksy goes out with Justin Thomas and Minwoo Lee. That's an interesting group.
Really fun group. Minwoo can really, really hit the golf ball and hit the driver. So
this is suited for him. And then JT was the one that fired that 60 whatever recently in the U.S. Open. I think that was on a Saturday or a Sunday. That's one of
62 or a 61.
Well, Fleetwood fired the 63. I think
Justin has done some things.
Yeah, he went for it on an 18. It was a long par 5. He made it in 2 easily. He was the only guy during that round to do so. 1:03 p.m. So the Noles are all well into the afternoon in round 1.
I also want to circle back. We do this. We throw things out there from time to time, and then you realize that you need to go up and tidy it up. You need to go back, I should say, and tidy it up. And this is one that is pertinent to all of us as Florida State fans. I was on the subject each of the last, I would say, 2 days at various points on where Florida State's NIL combo, now the house settlement money, where they sit, big picture in their ability to compete at the highest levels for players in baseball or basketball or football. And you guys recall, I was talking about Kentucky's going to spend $20 million on their basketball roster. Of course, that doesn't mean they won't spend a lot of money on their football roster. They care about football, not to the degree that they care about basketball, but they care. North Carolina's spending $14 million. These are 2 outlier examples of what, Florida State's up against regionally anyhow in your roster and what you spend on it to compete. And, obviously nobody expects Florida State to be an annual contender for the national title in basketball, but you'd like not to suck and you'd like to consistently be in the NCAA tournament. And so, that number is a far cry from where you need to be to get the best caliber players. It's going to be hard for Luke. I'm rooting for him, and he's worked hard in the fundraising world to try to supplement what he's going to get from the university. And, somebody has stated that the number is probably in the neighborhood of $4 million, somewhere around there. I did some checking today because most people say, that's great. What about football? That's what they do. That's the first thing they go to, and I don't blame them. So in 23, we were top 8 in what we spent on the roster.
That was a humongous retention year, as you all recall out there.
Yeah, so in 23, we were not just top 10, we were top 8 in what we spent on the roster. So when people would say, well, how are we going to keep up? I'd say, we're more than keeping up. We're one of the leaders in the clubhouse. We're one of the 8 most expensive rosters in the country. So this was it was something to behold what Florida State was spending at that time. I know some of those numbers, but it's not important. They were in the top 8. They are still in the neighborhood of, the the wealthier programs. They are not anywhere near where Ohio State was at a year ago, where allegedly we're seeing Texas go this year and Texas Tech and others. But they're still top 25. Still top 25, top 20-ish in terms of roster expenditures for this year.
Okay.
So this is where it gets interesting, because everybody's going to look at that 20.5 and they believe it's a cap, and there's a lot of pushback to that, because we don't believe that. You think Texas Tech, who's allegedly spending $55 million on their roster this year, is suddenly going to adhere to $20.5 million? They're not. They're going to find ways to circumvent it. They're going to collect NIL money. They're going to collect money from collectives. They're going to find ways to get that money. So really, this does get back to enforcement and how much they're able to do this. And the problem is there's an appetite for enforcement by a lot of schools. Because, for example, Alabama, and I brought this up the other day, Alabama may think that they're rich, and compared to most, they are. They've got a lot of boosters who care very deeply about Alabama football, and they're also old. So they have a lot of very rich graduates and legacy money. But they are living a very bare bones lifestyle compared to the schools in Texas. And the oil money being spent, say, at a place like SMU moving forward.
Well, hang on a minute, though. Did you say 55 for Tech?
Texas Tech is going all in. They've spent gazillions of dollars.
I know they've been all in, but that would dwarf what Texas is reportedly doing.
Yeah,
so, the story, the headline from a few weeks ago was that Texas was in the 40s, and everybody, gasped.
Doubling what Ohio State's spending.
Right, or what they at least spent last year, at the very least. But Tech is around 50?
This is the article. Texas Tech reportedly throws astonishing amounts of money. Yes, I had this right. I double-checked it to look at CBS Sports amongst other places. They might be, this is from an article yesterday, they might be paying as much as $55 million in athletics this year.
In athletics, got it. No. Listen, I'm not poo-pooing that. We might be lucky to spend 27. I get you. But okay, that makes sense. Because if it was just football, I'm thinking back in my head of, they don't have that many good players. They would be murderers row top 3 consensus in the country. If you're going to drop $55 million on a football roster, it better be the best one in the country.
They spent a huge sum of money on their 2025 roster, which we'll see. It's a gamble. A lot of people describe it as a gamble.
Portal hounds.
They went nuts, right? 21 transfers out of the portal cycle. It's not just the volume of players that they brought in terms of totals, right? But look, the investment in college football is believed to be in the neighborhood, with revenue sharing and NIL, of $55 million. And that was reported originally by Brendan Marcello of CBS.
That makes sense.
And it's not been refuted by the university.
Yeah, look, if you're in the business of paying a softball pitcher $1 million or $1.2 million, and you're wanting comprehensive athletic success, I could see where the total athletic picture would get you into the neighborhood of $50 to $55 million. Makes sense. I'm not saying that it's still not obscene if they spent 38 on their football roster, but if you're telling me it's the entire athletic department that's dropping 50, that makes a little bit more sense.
Well, here's the thing, though, Tom, in what blows you away. $55 million would be more than any other program in America. More than Texas, more than Ohio State, more than anybody. More than Notre Dame, more than anybody. Alabama. That's the world we live in now, where out of nowhere, Texas Tech is willing to throw this kind of money. And to be sure, that $55 million, while it may be on all of its programs, come on, man.
Yeah, I'm sure nearly 40 is probably.
Easily.
Yeah.
So they're in the neighborhood of what their rival, if you would, Texas is spending in order to compete to win a national championship in football. They're trying.
Hey, man, you might be able to get a parcel of land in Lubbock for cheap. Now's the time to buy it. They're trying to make that place a destination.
I'll just tell you this. Florida State's not spending anywhere close to that amount of money. It's not even close. And they can't. there are, I would say, myriad programs that cannot. And that's why they would like to get a handle on this, because those that were considered the haves are no longer feeling froggy. They feel good, but it's one of those things where you think you're wealthy and then you meet, Jeff Bezos. You're like, oh, I thought I was rich. And then there's that guy. That's a different deal. Where the concern is, if you're a Tennessee or a Georgia or you're I don't know, even a Michigan or whatever, is, yeah, you're rich, you got a lot of money, and you'll be able to get players. But if they decide they are all in, money is literally no object to a lot of these oil money schools. They don't have to worry about money at all. So $55 million, drop in the hat. They're like, oh, we'll spend $100 million. We've never won anything. We're Texas Tech. We've never won anything. We're useless. And we're tired of being useless. And for whatever reason, in this era where this thing took a weird turn and became more professional sports without rules, SMU went, we're tired of sleeping. We're tired of sleeping. We got the death penalty all those years ago, which really wasn't the death penalty. And now we've decided we don't like this sucking. We'd like to be very, very good. We want to be good so bad that our billionaire alumni have come in and said, we're going to be good. And oh, by the way, leave this slap-ass conference and join the ACC and tell them you don't even need any money. You'll come in and not take a penny of money from the gate, from the revenue from the television, any of it. We don't need any of it for the first few years. We just want to be in a power conference that allows us access to the playoff, because we intend to win, and we're not worried about your paltry sums that you can pay us, because money is no object. And just like that, they won 11 games, and they're all in.
I kind of like that. I'm sure there's going to be sociological studies on this at some point, but it's a collision of the free market system and the uniqueness of college athletics in that it's supported by fanatics. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine if the NFL salary cap was only the starting point for what players could make in Green Bay, because the folks are so insane in Green Bay and they've got a couple of rich people that live in the town of Green Bay?
Well, if you're rich, you're not living there. Well, I like your example, yes.
Because that's what Lubbock is. That's what Lubbock is, right? And so the hell with this. All right, I know the cap says 285, but we can spend an extra $300 million on players. It's literally like the Saudi money being injected into one of the big three professional sports, and some franchises in some markets having more of it and saying, yeah, the cap is but a drop in the bucket. Wait till you see what we can do outside of the cap in terms of endorsement opportunities. That's what college sports feels like right now, specifically in the state of Texas.
The problem is again, people would say, well, the steps that were taken with the House settlement and now an enforcement group like Deloitte and having somebody who's tasked with reining all of this in, they have to be fair market value deals. You can't give a kid $10 million for showing up at your steakhouse. It's not worth $10 million, and we're not going to play that game anymore. It's a charade. You're not worth it. But there's no way to really, really police it, and it's not going to work in court. And they know that. And so while they may want all of this, I don't know how they enforce it. And that's the fear, is that we're still a ways off. Now, none of that. See, in the NFL, they do enforce that, by the way. They have an entire – the players union agreed to this.
Yeah, that's one thing I learned in this whole process, because I was interested to see if there was going to be a trickle-up effect of this Wild Wild West into professional sports.
Yeah,
but apparently those things are already in place.
Well, they were collectively bargained.
Right. Well, and it also makes sense. Look, if you're strapped against the cap, there's no wink, wink, nod, nod. I'm going to give you 3 points of ownership when your career's over to your star player. Nothing like that can happen.
Allegedly, this all began because of Heisinger back in the day wanting to give Dan Marino $6 million to show up at one of his blockbusters. And they're like, we can't pay you this in salary, but we're going to like, what are we doing out here?
Well, I mean, it makes sense. You think about what's happened with Tom Brady at the end of his career. The Dolphins were tampering with him while he was with the Bucs. And then there was the talk about, is he going to have an interest in the Dolphins? Because the moment that you have any stake in a team, you can no longer play, because you could play for peanuts at that point and be $0 on the cap. And that's what happened. The moment that he agreed to join the Raiders organization, That's what announces retirement more than him sitting on a beach and looking weepy and saying, I really mean it this time. I'm going to be done. No, it's the moment that he signed a document with the Raiders. He's done.
He has to be done.
Because of these protections that you're talking about.
Yeah, so they're not in place in college football, or they're hoping to put something like that in place, but I don't, these restrictions on what a player can make are not collectively bargained. So they will challenge it in court and say, you can't keep me from making $7 million if this company wants to pay me $7 million, and you can't do it. We have not collectively bargained that. Players have not agreed to that. And so yesterday this week was a step forward, but there's a lot more steps to take, which inevitably is going to end up with what we've talked about time and again. The sooner they make these guys employees and collectively bargain all this, the better it'll be.
That's why it pays to listen to the show years in advance. Said it years ago. What's the deterrent? What's the deterrent to the institutions? I think it always should be something from the television money pool. That would get your attention.
Yes.
If you step out, we're taking 10% of your television revenue, distributing to the other teams in the conference. Oh, you talk about incentives for others to report on you now. Now you've got watchdogs, not only with Deloitte, you've got watchdogs at other schools within your own conference. And that would be something with teeth. But there is no deterrent strong enough there. But this needed to happen to get closer to the resolution. The House settlement needed to be approved.
We got to get closer to the resolution sooner rather than later. If you're solely going to be myopic and look at it from a Florida State standpoint, I believe we are going to be negatively affected big time by what you can consider a reasonable expectation for any of these programs to compete. And this is frustrating because that's the reality. Look, Link Jarrett will be the next one affected by this. He will be the one that is most affected by this very soon, because when you read the reports of how much the SEC will pay for a starting pitcher or an ace reliever or a frontline left fielder, and you realize what Florida State has to spend on their baseball roster, you realize soon you are not going to get the best players in all the land. Now, somebody retorts and says, well, wait a minute. Jamie Arnold may go number one. He was on this roster. Remember, he committed before all of this. He committed to Mike Martin Jr. That was not a Link recruit. Secondly, I would go beyond that and say they got very lucky because Miles Bailey's in their backyard. Miles Bailey's may be one of the 10 best players in the country next year, but he played at Lincoln High School right here in Tallahassee, Florida, and wanted to come to Florida State. And so you got, frankly, a massive hometown discount that you wouldn't get if he was anywhere else. From anywhere else, you're not getting that. And now, they did a great job of development, and, Lodis has become a great example of what you're capable of.
Yeah, Jamie was a development win as well. It's not like he was predetermined to be
right. But he was a big time.
He was a starter.
Yeah,
he was going to be a starter.
Yeah. Oh no, they develop guys, and you're going to have to sell the hell out of it, because what you're not doing is cutting a check for $2 million to your next left fielder.
Well, but here's the thing: this is, I believe, where the front of the war is going to be on enforcement, because baseball should, in theory, be a place where everybody gets cut across the board next year at 20 and a half.
We'll see.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody's going to come for football in these examples. A sport like baseball or softball or soccer or, track or whatever, like, these are the sports where it's going to be easier for somebody to stick out like a sore thumb as being overcompensated and for Deloitte to fight. I think with football, it gets a little bit more dicey. So that's where what I would look to see in the next year is, so LSU wants to pay a kid $2.5 million. How? If it's outside of the 20 and a half. Because you could do so with the 20 and a half.
Yeah.
But if you're only spending $1.7 million on the baseball program, how are you going to give that kid $2 million? And how are you going to justify that?
I'm going to be very interested to see, because when he doesn't get his $2 million that is being offered to him, he's going to say, well, you capped what money I could make, and we never agreed to that, and this is nonsense, and I'm going to take you to court.
Yeah,
here we go again.
I think those are the sports where the fight is coming for this.
I agree with that. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 90.
durability, and lifespan of a shingle roof, saving you thousands of dollars over time. Not only do we have the technology to fabricate and produce the best materials, we have the most experienced contractors to install your roof as well. And we will match or beat any other price in tile. Find us online at metalroofingsales.net. You can trust the 3 generations of service under one roof.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
He's the kind of dad who's always there for late night walks and talks, early morning rides, and every moment in between. This Father's Day, we want to honor a truly great dad with the ultimate dad prize. Free tickets to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a free round of golf for 4, and a well-deserved steak dinner. Nominate a dad who's made a difference in your life. Share his story at realtalk93.com today. Brought to you by the law offices of Basic Brooks, your personal injury attorneys.
There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
No Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude, I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean, you know.
No, I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Chef.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Florida, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I crack up, man. How many of these do you get a day? I think they're trying to prey on the elderly. I'm getting more of these. This is the Florida Department of Vehicles. Final notice. Enforcement begins June 13th. Our records show that as of today, you still have an outstanding traffic ticket. According to Florida traffic regulations, if you do not pay by June the 12th, we're going to take the following actions. Report you to the DMV, suspend your vehicle, suspend driving privileges, impose a 35% service fee if paid at toll location. You may be prosecuted. Your credit score will suffer. Pay now. Click the link below.
I see a lot of those.
I usually type back no just to see what they'll do. I'll type back no.
I see a lot of those for tolls for SunPass, toll invoice easy pass.
Mm-hmm.
One of them got me to at least verify what was going on because those services are extremely and extraordinarily penal if you, for some reason, have a card outstanding or if your card on file expired or whatever. You know this from being in downtown Tallahassee not at all being in downtown Tallahassee with a car that's not registered in your name. Hey, deadbeats down at City Hall, have you paid my man his money back?
Never paid me back.
Where is his money that he paid to you egregiously and erroneously and under duress?
Well, I went under duress. I did it because I was tired of being bothered, and it was whatever it was.
You say bothered, I say duress, and that's why I say to you, you cowards, give the man his money back. It wasn't his car.
So... No, it wasn't my car. It was somebody's van. And if I remember correctly, it was a Toyota van. I've never owned a Toyota van. Nothing against any of you who do. But this was like a yellow Toyota van that somehow they thought I owned and had parked illegally. And I kept getting this. And it was real. It was a very real ticket that I had. So I finally had to. I bitched and complained. It's not my vehicle.
Yeah, you can't contest it within 24 hours. It is so. It is not so. You cowards.
Yeah, no. I paid it. My wife was horrified. So were you that I paid it. It was like $55. I was just like,
But it keeps escalating exponentially.
If you don't pay it, it does.
Yes.
And I was just like, I'm not going to go to war over this thing. And I was furious about it. I did pay it, and that was the end of it.
Well, it's a personal thing because I told you I got killed on this before. And there was an erroneous ticket on my car. I had paid through the parking app. And I called the people immediately as I was driving to the office because I was at Metro Deli for lunch. So I'm coming to the office, and they say, well, you can't contest yet because it's not posted. And I forgot. Well, I'm trying to contest it because I see it says I got 24 hours or 5, whatever it is. So I'm trying to do it immediately, get it off the books, and I forgot. And then it went from 20 to 100. What a crock of crap this is.
Yeah, man. I have done the SunPass thing where I forgot to put the money in the SunPass, but the good news about the SunPass thing is that when you go through the toll, say you're riding out to Miami or something and you go through a SunPass thing, it's like, nope, and it shows you that you owe the money. They're like, hey, you don't have any money on here, baby, but they charge you anyhow. They have a card on record if that's how you pay your annual SunPass, and they just charge you. So I'm like, I don't care.
And truthfully, if you get people from the SunPass on the phone, it's no problem. People are great. Not here, though. Not in this city. They're like, well, I hadn't posted yet. I'm like, well, I'm giving you the invoice number.
I'm letting you know.
This is the number. Write it off. They got to give you your money back.
I don't think they're going to. We've brought it up on the air many times, and I do not feel like anybody's rushed to my aid. Yes, by the way, somebody noted in here, I know Texas Tech's money is for the entirety of the athletic. I'm just saying, man, other than the couple of mil they gave the softball player, how much do you think they're giving swimmers and tennis players and everybody? Not much.
I'll be interested to see what their basketball program looks like.
Yeah. It's that money's going. They're paying a lot of money for football. They're trying to get some damn wins. Other than Crabtree, you can play the clip.
I'll dig it out of the archive
because it's all time great. And as soon as I heard it, I sent it to you and thought, well, we're going to have to use this on the show because it's too good to be true. We'll always have Texas Tech for that. Few others, but that one in particular. Yeah, let's see if they're any good. You know, when you hear a stat like that, or when you hear a number like that, you immediately say, I hope they lose 9 games. You want to see things like this backfire. It was on the board yesterday or day before yesterday.
I got it.
Here it is.
Well, I'm the best corner in the game. When you try me with a sorry receiver like Crabtree, that's the result you're going to get. Don't you ever talk about me.
Who was talking about you?
Crabtree.
the Crabtree. But there's the other one.
I led with it.
It's the hands one.
That one. Sorry.
All time.
I thought you were talking. See, we got 2 Crabtrees.
We got 2 Crabtrees. People forget about Crabtree.
All right, here you go.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
I jumped from my couch, hit pause on the TV, rewound it, recorded it, sent it to you. The best part is the color analyst having to try to keep it together because
I think that was Fouts.
He cannot keep it together. He's like, you can hear it in his voice later on.
Why did you say that with such fervor?
It's the gusto with which you said that, sir.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
I would have had to get up and leave the booth.
You know, it's actually a fun game. Is just to try and get in character and say it the exact same way that Ian Eagle said it, and do so without laughing.
Also, Ian Eagle is really good at his job, and I'm sure they went to commercial break and he went, "Good God, man, I'm so sorry."
Because you have to make your voice shudder as you say it, and his ability to suck in these balls. Come on, man.
With such,
if I'm Fouts, I'm seeing his head bob as he's talking.
With such passion.
Rob Moore, the wide receiver coach, has been blown away by Crabtree's hands and his ability to suck in these balls.
You would. Why?
Why is your head vibrating? What is going on?
You are just.
Are you like Doris Burke? Do you have a thing about hands?
Yes. You're that excited about these hands and his ability.
Bristol, Connecticut. It's the summer of 2023. In the hallways, walking to the studio, Rex Ryan passes Doris Burke. You know, Rex, I understand.
They hug. They have a moment.
But I'm more of a hands gal myself. I got you, Doris.
As an aside, I just thought this was interesting. You think that Saquon Barkley not only resurrected his career and now is, he's bordering on like the Hall of Fame status and all that. Well, I looked at the numbers. There was a front office report that came out about the best-selling jerseys in all of the NFL. And I went to look because I want to see. I assumed that there was a chance that Jaden Daniels had moved into the top 3 or top 4. I was right. He's number 4. He's just behind Jalen Hurts. But number 1, now ahead of Mahomes, is Saquon Barkley. I know it's meaningless, whatever, but he moved to number 1 with that. It's all the jumping over our guy.
Well, and it's got to be the Kelly Green one. I'm sure of the ones that are sold for him, the Kelly Green is the hottest ticket to get.
You know who's number 5? CJ Stroud, percentage points ahead of Josh Allen. Hour number 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away. Water license number CMC 050334 and EC 1301240.
This time of year, we enjoy spending time outdoors in this beautiful North Florida climate until a mosquito attack begins.
Falls Termite Pest Control can help you take your yard back. We have an affordable program to help keep mosquitoes away. And our program even helps with other pests like ticks.
Mosquitoes are a nuisance to you, and by carrying diseases such as heartworms, they can be harmful to your pets.
Learn more about how Paws can help protect you, your family, and your pets from mosquitoes. For the elimination of termites, pests like mosquitoes,
and a greener lawn too,
call Paws. We'll get them all.
Do you want to take your yard back by having a green and pest-free lawn?
At Paws, we understand the unique needs of your North Florida lawn, which is why we developed a program to address those concerns.
Our treatment program includes inspection, treatment, and education on best practices for optimized results while remaining environmentally conscious. An added benefit is that our lawn treatment is flea suppression, so having a greener lawn can help protect your pets too. For a greener lawn and the elimination of fleas too,
call Paws. We'll get them all.
Ready to spice things up, Tallahassee? Slide into the all-new Tallulah Love Shop, your one-stop pleasure palace. From sensual toys and steamy couples kits to luscious aphrodisiacs and pheromone perfumes that whisper, yeah. And oh, don't forget the THC slushies, flower, 7-0 kratom, and sweet edible treats that hit just right. Grab your partner or come solo and see the all-new Tallulah Love Shop at 1530 Mahan Drive. More love, more fun, always at Tallulah.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3 WVFT. We're at the Tallahassee.
Your
Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
Jacksonville Jaguars football quarterback Trevor Lawrence was seen wearing a sleeve on his right arm during Tuesday's practice at minicamp. Head coach Liam Cohen downplaying that there should be any concern about that. But when he was asked about it, he said that Lawrence was dealing with a little bit of soreness. Tampa Bay Rays baseball, they lose to the Boston Red Sox yesterday by a 3-1 score. Ryan Pepio giving up 3 runs on 5 hits with 2 walks, strikes out 9 in 5 2/3 innings. Series continues today. Zach Littell on the mound. Marlins get a win yesterday between the Pirates 3-2. Sandy Alcantara allowed 3 hits and walked 1 in his first win since April 12th. That series wraps up this afternoon. Cal Quantrill pitching for the Marlins. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Walk right through the door. It's all here to explore. With guys in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Now at Verizon, we have some big news for your peace of mind. For all our customers, existing and new, we're locking in low prices for 3 years, guaranteed, on My Plan and My Home. That's future you peace of mind. And everyone can save on a brand new phone on My Plan when you trade in any phone from one of our top brands. That's new phone peace of mind. Because at Verizon, whether you're already a customer or you're just joining us, we got you. Visit Verizon today. Price guarantee applies to then current base monthly rate. Additional terms and conditions apply for all offers.
Is your lunch break feeling a little bland? Escape the ordinary with a visit to Café de Martín. Whether it's a fresh ceviche or a steaming plate of arroz con pollo, our Peruvian flavors turn any lunch hour into a culinary adventure. Fast, flavorful, and always unforgettable. Café de Martín is your new go-to for lunch. Visit the menu online at cafedemartin.com.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
just if you guys are golf fans, go follow Michael Kim, either on Instagram or Twitter. It's cool, man. That guy will he'll take you hole by hole and give you close-up shots of everything that through the entire practice round. And he'll talk to you about, the greens and the slopes and the rough, and you get like a up-close picture of it all. It's really quite cool. And then at the end, he gives you miscellaneous things that he likes. We got a really cool duffel bag as our tea gift.
Hey, I always wanted to know if they do get tea gifts. That's cool.
Yeah, he gets a duffel bag. He said the family dining food was fine, 6.5 out of 10. Said the locker room is old school, but very cool old school. And then went on to say, a lot of blind tee shots out here. We'll have to make sure to get comfortable with the lines off the tee because there's some things you just can't see. And also went on to say that hit some 3-woods off the tee as well on a lot of holes, so it wasn't as long as he was thinking it was going to be. All right, we'll see. I'm excited for tomorrow morning.
Yeah, it starts as early as 6:45.
Well, and that's our own Tyler Weaver, right?
No, Tyler is 2:20.
Oh, there was a maybe that was the Friday?
It could be Friday.
Yeah, it's the Friday, so he goes late early.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, enjoy your 4 hours of sleep, kid. Good luck. Good
yeah, he goes late early. That's what it is. I did see that. And very, very cool to have 3 different players playing: Tyler Weaver, Brooks Koepka, and Daniel Berger. And that's what it is, Tom. You're correct. He begins 2:31. Koepka starts at 1:07. Berger at 1:47. The Friday tee times, 8:46 for Weaver. For those of you wanting to watch our boys at home, Koepka tees off at 7:18 a.m. and Berger at 8:02 a.m. That's the Friday round.
I love that Brooks is grouped with Min Woo and JT. That means that most certainly they will be a featured group for both days. I have found that during the first 2 days of coverage, I will have the main feed. I've graduated to this. I will have the main feed on television 2 without the sound, and I will have the featured pairing of my choice on the big screen because I get more out of, because I'm a nerd for the game. I love the game. I get more out of watching people go through the ups and downs of 18 holes instead of watching the live highlight show. Now, when we get to the weekend, give me the highlight show because I need to know what the leaders are doing. But I just, Thursday and Friday is so much more enjoyable watching guys manage their misses because you don't see that in the main broadcast. 3 or 4 holes of guys really struggling and having to, squeeze blood from a stone. That's the cool stuff.
Yeah, and it happens in these events where you can scorecard watch on your computer and then just start clicking on people. And you're like, oh, my man has gone double, triple. Okay, we're in the middle of a rough one. Let's see if we get an 88 out of this. There's something about watching the best players in the world look every bit as damaged psychologically as we get in any given round, right? When you finally see it, you're like, oh, he's breaking. This is my man. That's a straight up duff. Where they lose their mind, they lose their concentration because of how difficult the course is. And if your driver's wayward here, you could post a big number.
That's one thing that I'll give Bryson credit for, all the extra, content that he creates. He's been to munis. He's played some municipal courses. And he's like, man, some of the lies you got out here, I don't even know what to do with this.
Yeah, we don't even, yeah.
And now ratcheted it up by making the course 30 shots more difficult, and you get some of what you see from these players. But it's just, hey, man, I played against a bunch of country club kids, and so they've never been told no in their life about anything. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see them every once in a while have to feel what it feels like to not be silver spoon their whole life. And that's why I enjoy the U.S. Open. Doesn't have to be that way 6 weeks a year, but it should be 1 week a year, just like that. And hopefully Oakmont provides it.
Delivers, buddy. Delivers. We sure hope so. I agree with you. Question in the chat is Trevor Lawrence, top 10 quarterback. I don't watch the NFL. Robert, he's not. He is not. That's most assuredly true. He is not. We'll see if he is. They're going to need him to be. The new contract kicks in this year, and it's bountiful.
He was one I feel more right than wrong about. Gotten a lot wrong over the years in the NFL draft.
But the book's not done. The final chapter's not done.
No, but I thought he would have struggles right out the gate because most often, because Clemson was so good and because he was so much more naturally gifted than the level he was playing, it was all predetermined. Hardly ever would you watch Trevor Lawrence after the snap at Clemson have to whip his head around from one half of the field's progression 3 to 4. he would predetermine and he'd be correct because their receivers were faster and his arm was stronger. At the NFL level, not that easy, man. You're going to have to come off 1 and 2 at some point, and he doesn't have the legs to run in that situation like a Jaden Daniels would or some other quarterback who's lesser in terms of IQ. I think Jaden's already at that level to get to progression 4. But Trevor had never had to do it. Clemson was just too damn talented.
And they're very talented again this year, and that is the game that I'm most concerned with in terms of percentage chance to win. I offset it by telling you I think it's the hardest game to win on our schedule because Alabama's here, and it's the first game of the year, and Alabama's going to have a hard time knowing what to look for from us, and we may be able to surprise them to some extent. Now, they've seen Gus Malzahn, and obviously it's a different coaching staff and all of that, but first games are weird. First games sometimes can play very weird too, disjointed. Next thing you know, you look up and it's mid-third quarter and it's a 3-point game, something like that. It might happen. But that Clemson game, when you look at just the NFL prospects, and I look at all those all the time just to see what NFL people think about your roster. And, listen, this far in advance, those numbers can change for the good or the bad. Guys emerge. That 23 team ended up having guys move way up that we didn't think would be anywhere near the first few rounds of the draft. So it changes some, and some guys fall off, but it is a decent litmus test of what your roster is. Clemson's got a ton of NFL players projected, 10, 11 guys. And you're playing it on the road. That's the game that probably stands out to me to be the toughest on the schedule. More than Miami, more than Alabama, really more than anybody else.
Yeah, more than Florida for sure. Yeah. I would agree. I think part of it is what you're talking about, which is a roster that has a lot of NFL talent, but I would circle back to Klubnik and make that the centerpiece because he looks like he's found the middle ground, whatever it is.
Well, he took off last year.
Yeah.
He pissed me off.
So you're going to be facing a really good quarterback. Although the one thing I would say, just to pump a little bit of hope, even if it's 10% hope. Last year, how many games were 0% hope? Many? Like the one you went to in South Bend?
I went to that game in South Bend, and I hope I am never in my life in a situation. Look, over the years.
That's twice in a row in South Bend, where it's 0% when you wake up on game day.
I was sitting there. The one before this one, it was colder, and there was snow on the ground and the whole deal, and we're hanging out, and you were sick as a dog. I remember that. And we're at the tailgate there. And I'm just talking to our fellow Noles, and we're like, yeah, no, we're going to get our head kicked in here. This is going to be a blowout.
We're enjoying the tailgate.
Yeah, we're enjoying just being here to see it and be part of it. The cold weather was cool. That part of it was neat. And the chance to go to Chicago, which I love, which was awesome. But yeah, we walked into that stadium under no delusions. We knew exactly what was about to happen. I walked into that stadium this year with even less hope than I had that day, sadly, because at that point we had all but confirmed that we had quit on the season and we had completely laid down. And what I didn't like about it, A, was, what I dealt with from Notre Dame fans, but B, just that sense of walking through to watch a fait accompli. That, when people talk about the frustrations during a poor season or a couple of years back to back where you don't play well, the worst feeling is when you choose not to be competitive. Like I have learned over the years how to deal with losses. I've learned how to deal with substandard teams based on what our reasonable expectations should be, right? You've gone into years where you thought you could compete for a national title and you went 9-3. Okay. Those years feature some tough comeuppance, but they seldom feature a team that won't compete. They seldom feature a moment where you go, oh, they're not trying. And that's the problem with last year. It's like, okay, we can be bad, but you quit? I have no respect for that.
Well, that's the problem with these last 10 years of Florida State football is you got 4 of those seasons in which your team would play multiple games where they don't have it in them to compete. And at least 2 seasons in which you had quit happen. One of which was Jimbo's last when people are sleeping on the sidelines. And maybe towards the end of one of Willie's years, but certainly last year was one of those. But you think about the crash and burn for Jimbo Fisher, Willie's season 2 specifically.
Oh, the Miami game here.
Right, and he's donezo after that. And then last year. I mean, you could even loop in Norvell's first season, but it's COVID, so I don't know. You could probably do away with that one. But, we're picking between several memories, full seasons, in which this is the reality for us in the last 10 years. That's absurd. And it's become all too common to the point where you rightfully get mad that, we're calling 8-4 like, okay, that's an exhale season. It's not a rage season. That used to be 2-10 was never a rage season. It was impossible.
Well, if you're operating at peak efficiency in the ACC, even with the detriments that Florida State has in terms of what we're doing these days, right? So if you, any given year, are not championship caliber, any given year, you're not the best team in the league, let's say, you should never, ever, ever be in a situation where you think that, I don't know, anything that isn't 9-3 or better is acceptable. It's the ACC. We're Florida State. There's no reason to ever be out here losing 4 and 5 games in this league. And, I know that there are years where you say, okay, well, now, Jeff, the road Clemson game, let's say Florida's good in a given year, and you begin this year with Alabama. Yeah, well, that's 3. I mean, I'm not going to concede to Miami any given year, right? But maybe let's say a year where they all line up and all those teams are good. Okay, the worst you should be is 8-4. But most years aren't like that. Most years, now I know in the next few we've got situations because we've got Alabama, then you throw in Notre Dame onto the schedule, and now you add Georgia after that. I got it. But come on, man. When we're operating at peak efficiency, when we're doing things the right way.
Peak efficiency is a long way away, man. That feels like driving to Lubbock from here in this moment. But the one thing I was going to try to do to inject some optimism is that if you see the things that you want to see out of this offense in the first 2 marquee games of the schedule, Alabama and Miami, well, let's just say that it rises to the level that you're pleased with what you see. Then there is a path to go into Clemson and shorten the game and run the football and control the clock to at least make it competitive in a way that last year's Notre Dame game was not, in the way that we're discussing games that had no prayer of ever being. Last year's Miami game was that, really, we were going to need them to fall all over themselves, and they kind of did for a little bit, but
they were bored.
You need the other team's help. If this offense impresses through the first 2 marquee games, then you at least have that small puncher's chance. At minimum, you have the small puncher's chance for the most difficult game on the schedule at Clemson.
Yeah, you have a puncher's chance. I'm going to, in my mind, I'll go into that one with minimal expectations, but we do have to admit, and we always do, who knows what the hell we're going to look like or think about any game this far out in June. The season could take on a very different feel. You beat Alabama. You win 24-21 against Miami. You're going to the Clemson game going, all right, let's play. You're not nearly the same pessimistic as I am right now today.
That's what I'm saying. If you're armed, not necessarily with 2 wins in those games, but you're armed with the information that the offense is equipped to fight, you'd be like, oh, well, this is an offense that is built to travel. This isn't one that is weather dependent. This isn't one that is perfect circumstances dependent.
Right.
Timing has to be on. No, man, this is a running offense with options. And if the defense chooses the wrong option, that's 20 yards. First down. And now we're moving.
I can't. Somebody said it at the start of the show. They were like, hey, man, now begins. We're very close to the beginning of the interminable summer, but it's not anymore, guys, because we're already midway through June. We're already midway through June.
We've made it to your birthday.
We have. And that used to be, a benchmark for everybody.
Happy 57th.
It's not 57. It's not 57. You know how many days until college football? 72.
All right.
72 and 22 hours. So if you want to say 73, fine. But come back on Monday. We're in the 60s.
We're in the nice zone.
Woo!
We're better than nice.
It's 68, isn't it, when I come back?
Yeah.
68 days. I mean, now you start getting nervous. I'm not prepared. I've got to get things in order.
Well, they better be.
Well, they have to be.
They better
I'm
be.
saying, like, our minds got to get right. When you're only 6, think about your favorite trips that you've ever taken or were excited to take. Whether that's, when you went to see Wilco in Mexico, whether it was going overseas to England, whether it was whatever it might be, right? I know my favorite trips. When you get to within a couple of months, you start feeling the buzz. You're like, ooh, okay. It seemed like a pipe dream a long time ago now, but now I see it. That's what 60-something days is. And that's what we are when we come back on the air on Monday. A little buzz. A little buzz in the air.
Oh, man. Anybody want to take us on that trip to Dublin? We'll go with you.
Oh, for Iowa State and is it Iowa State and Kansas State? Oh, that's right. I called that the food line matchup. That's a toughie.
You could wear that shirt into the stadium.
That would be great.
We could wear matching food line shirts.
That,
but yours
nobody would get the joke.
Yours would be in Kansas State colors, and I'll wear the Iowa State colors.
Yeah,
it's the same logo, food line.
And
classic.
their two respective fan bases would be like, "What is it? What are they? What are they saying?"
Oh, we're influencers for Food Lion.
Yeah.
Come on, hop in this selfie video.
Prevent leaks before they start. Many large roof issues could have been avoided by fixing small leaks and defects detected before they worsened. If I could speak, this is an easier commercial. Fix the minor issues before they become big ones. That's what I was trying to tell you. By the way, wind damage, missing shingles, T-Sparks got you. Anywhere there are holes, anywhere rainwater can go or collect, clog gutters, that kind of thing, T-Sparks got you. Commercial tenant build-outs, T-Sparks got you. North Florida, South Georgia, Tallahassee, Monticello, Havana, Quincy, Crawfordville, Wakulla, Madison, Thomasville, Bainbridge. Get about it. T-Spark has got you. Give them a call today. 850-766-1340. 850-766-1340. And they are license number CGC 1525336, CCC 1331204.
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, PS4, and PS5. You name it. Locally owned and operated since 1994, trade-ins are not only welcome, but Games for Less pays more for your trade-ins than the chain stores. That's not all. Games for Less now buys and sells new and used vinyl records to boot. George loves the Beatles, by the way. Reserve all the new releases today at Games for Less, conveniently located in the Walmart Supercenter Plaza on Appalachian Parkway.
Widden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Widden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Widden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Widden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Widden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
When it's time to honor a life well lived, trust Cornerstone Memorial. Experts in creating meaningful memorials with generations of care and craftsmanship. We help you create a lasting tribute to your loved ones. Cornerstone Memorials creates custom designed headstones, mausoleums, detailed stone engraving, and more. Visit cornerstonememorials.org or call today to speak with a compassionate expert. Cornerstone Memorials, honoring life and preserving legacy.
Hey, fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Your friendly neighborhood bar and grill just got a whole lot closer to home. You can now order delicious Smitty's Tap House and Grill for delivery directly to your doorstep. Just visit Smitty'sTapHouse.com, click the Order Online button, and choose pickup or delivery. Enjoy Smitty's famous handmade pretzel with beer cheese, juicy pub burger, or even the amazing schnitzel sandwich, delivered fresh right to your doorstep. Support local and order online today for takeout or delivery at Smitty'sTapHouse.com, where everybody knows his name.
What makes Paul's Termite and Pest Control the best in North Florida?
It's our core values, of course, and they happen to spell Paul's.
P, protecting you and your pets from pests and your property from termites.
A, accept personal responsibility. At Paul's, we realize it's up to us to get things right and strive to do more than's expected.
U, uphold company values. Those values include treating others with respect and understanding we represent Paul's Pest Control on and off the clock.
L, look the part. As representatives of this great company, we will always make sure that our image matches the character of Paul's.
S, support the team. Every job we do is a total team effort to create a supportive workplace.
P, protecting you, your pets, and your property. A, accept personal responsibility. U, uphold company values. L, look the part. S, support the team. Paul's core values. They make us the best.
For the elimination of termites and other pests.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com multimedia network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Got to get to it then. I did not realize it. Where are we looking here, baby? Starred. Just watching now. Have you named your U.S. Open bets? No, but I'll name a few here. Yeah, let's have some fun with it. Here's what I'll do for you. I've got a lot of different bets. I'm in a lot of different pools, and I've got some personal big bets that I'm not going to share. But I do have a lot of contests that I enter. For you guys that like sort of the contest where you draft, whether you're using DraftKings or FanDuel, whatever you're using, I've got some fun ones that I think, anyhow, I'm excited about. I'm hoping pay off. But let's see my contests. Where are you at? I know there's no live contest currently. I'm looking for the ones to be. Well, here's what I'll do instead. I'll tell you some dark horses because I think this is the fun. Some of you have asked this. Again, don't bet money you don't have, and don't think that I'm always going to win you money. I don't want to feel responsible for that, and I want you guys to make good decisions. But having said that, I think golf betting's where it's at. It's a lot of fun.
And you should do it.
Well, if you can, and you also understand that it is gambling. I mean, you're going to lose some money from here and there. Now, if you get good at it, like me, you'll win some money. But I do work. I take the time. These are educated guesses. It's not an accident. So if you're going to use like an outright betting tool to enhance your chances, I'd say do that. And if you did that, you might find some interesting names this week that have a chance to be part of some sort of like a fantasy team or a drafted team. Like you can save a lot of money when you do things like that by drafting a Sepp Straka, a Corey Connors, a Patrick Cantlay, somebody like that. Guys that, a guy like Ben Griffin. Gotterup is a guy that you can get for next to nothing who actually, his profile is nice here. I don't know that I would necessarily bet that, but I would in a bunch of top 20s and some assorted. And that's really where it's at. Betting top 20s each way, betting top 10s, top 5s, those kinds of things. Every now and then sprinkling a little money on the outright leader after day one can win you some big money. You want to have some fun to players to miss the cut. By the way, according to Data Golf and several other tools that I looked up today, what do you think Scotty Scheffler's odds of missing the cut are? Missing the cut.
Oh, man. So what would it pay? Is that what you're saying?
No, just what do you think is percentage points?
Percentage chance?
Yeah, percentage chance he misses the cut.
16%.
9%. That's how good he is.
1-11.
Well, for that matter, you got to give the guy credit, at least in terms of top 10s and top 15s. Bryson DeChambeau is only a 13% chance to miss the cut.
Okay. Well, if there's a miss the cut bet, he could go nuclear and drop an 11 out of nowhere. He's got that in him.
18% is the to miss the according to Bet365. He's 19% according to FanDuel. The Data Golf puts him at 13% to miss the cut.
So if you want to take a tip from head coach Trey Jones, if you weren't listening to the beginning of the show, Brooks Koepka put in a new driver this week, and he likes it.
Loves it.
The driver giveth and the driver taketh away. Rory McIlroy, after his driver was ruled illegal. He hasn't found a one that he likes since then. Brooks top 20 finish, plus 275. If he drives well, he's going to finish in the top 20. It's that simple. If he drives the ball well and he doesn't have the two-way miss like he had at Quail Hollow, on a setup like this, he will finish top 20. But that's the wager. Is he going to drive the ball well? Will the Titleist hold up?
It's interesting that Trey pimped the Titleist driver. That's not what they always do. They're very careful about naming the manufacturer.
Sure.
Especially when you're at Ping School.
Oh, yeah. I think in this particular case, Brooks plays a rainbow bag. He doesn't have a manufacturer. So I think he would probably
It's Cleveland Irons, right?
I think so.
Certainly.
No, it's Srixon?
Srixon Ball.
Yeah.
He's all over the map.
He is. Might be Cleveland Wedges.
Cleveland Wedges.
He's on a wedge commercial.
Yeah, Cleveland Wedges. Yeah. That's the way to do it too, by the way. That's the way I would do it.
If you've got the money, the FU money, which he does, and he made that probably 5 years ago. Yeah. Play the clubs that work for you, because you don't want to be beholden to a manufacturer giving. It's like having a bad car in F1. So there you go. You were looking for an analogy in F1. The Jason Day story that you once told. They made him use
a club that he didn't want to use. Yeah.
Right. That's what it can be like for a Mercedes or a Ferrari or a Team Red Bull. Some years their car ain't great, and the year before it was
got to
perfect,
wear it,
and you just have to wear it. You got to drive that car. That's all you can do.
I would, at the time that they did that, TaylorMade did that to Jason Day, and he at the time, for a snapshot, for a quick moment, was the number one player in the world, and they were making him change his driver because the new model was coming out, and he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not changing my driver." And they're like, "Well, you will. That's part of the contract." He's like, "Would you rather me be the number one player in the world using one of your clubs? I might add, just it's not the right color this year. We can paint it the color you want it to be, whatever." They're like, "Nope, we want you to switch to the new," which is ridiculous. That is so short-sighted.
Would you rather me win with your gear or use your new gear?
It's crazy. We got a question in the chat that I'm just now getting around to the chat. First of all, thank you, Optimus. I appreciate that. He says, "Happy birthday. Can you name one guy on each side of the ball that you're pretty confident in what they'll bring to the table entering this football season?" One guy on each side of the ball? Yeah, I could do that. Try to decide which position group I want to go to where I feel very good. Okay. This is going to not be the answer you thought I was going to give. Offensively, I feel very good about Randy Pittman Jr.
Of course you were going to go there. Yep.
Well, that's who you're going to say?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
You're talking about percentage chance of, this is what they're going to do. Yeah, we know what Randy is.
Yeah, Randy Pittman Jr., the tight end, is the real deal. He's tough. He's proven it at the college level. He knows Gus's system. He had a great spring. I'm going Randy Pittman Jr. Defensively,
Herring.
It's Elijah Herring to lead the team in tackles, probably.
Just be a steady linebacker, one that you can count on. Which we had a couple years ago. I'm not going to say we haven't had that in forever. No, healthy Tatum Bethune was there. He was that.
Yeah, it's Elijah Herring more than it is any of those other guys. Yeah, and I wish I could say Darnell Jackson or Daryl Jackson, not Darnell, Daryl Jackson. I wish I could say Daryl Jackson, but I don't think that I can because he's never given me a reason to.
Yeah, if you could know that James Williams would hold up on first down or rundowns, then you could maybe list him early, but it's hard to say with him too. Isn't it sad that you're trying to rack your brain about the secondary and you're like, Jeremiah Wilson, the new kid? Because clearly they're not so sure about Quindarius or Rawls, one of the two.
Right. They like Rawls, but yeah.
They do, but I mean,
Yeah,
you
they
would
went
think that
out.
they would be both outside guys, and then you got Joseph in the middle or Earl Little. You can't say Shaheem. Shaheem's been a little bit of everything in his career. Good.
Yeah, it's tough.
Bad.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's tough. So I think we named the right guy. Elijah Herring on defense. Feel good about consistency, solid plus player, and Randy Pittman Jr.
Got another question about Dublin. Looks like Knowles fans going. Got any pubs that you remember from Dublin that you enjoyed?
All of them. Well, you and I particularly liked, what was the one that Springsteen goes to that we hung out at and did the bellying up?
I don't remember the name of it, but if you pull up Bellying Up, Knowles fan, from the season, you will get that answer as to where that's on the main drag too. That's nowhere crazy. The Thomas More Inn pub is great. That staff is
Great
wonderful.
pub. Yeah, great staff. Yep.
Whelan's was great. That's where we went night one. Whelan's Music.
We did. The Brazen Head is a big one. The Temple Bar Pub is the popular one that people go to that I don't really care about. Mulligan's is good as well. Been there.
I'm trying to find my note on the smallest one. There's Jay Grogan, O'Donoghue's. Go figure.
Yeah. You'll like Mulligan's of Poolbeg Street. You'd like that pub. I think we went to God, there's a lot of them. I forget. The Stag's Head.
Yep.
Stag's Head is good.
Is that the one we went to the second floor?
Yes.
Oh, I love that place.
Stag's Head is good. Grogan's, I think, is that pub we went to, Tom, that we're talking about. It's one of the more famous pubs in Dublin.
That could be it. Yeah, the smallest one is the Dawson Lounge. That's the one you go downstairs and it's got about 6 or 7 seats in there. That's a place to go for a pint or two.
The Palace Bar is good. Cobblestone is good.
So that was the one that the second floor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that music was the best I heard in Dublin.
The Brazen Head is good
Brazen
too.
Head,
yeah, I was just about to pull up some pubs to see if I recognized any of those that I may have missed. We tried to go in every single pub in Dublin.
Yeah,
it's not really. Oh, we went to Toner's. How many times? Toner like that? Yeah, 2 or 3 times. I like Toner's. Yeah, I'll show you a picture during the break.
Yeah, see,
Toner's. You'll remember Toner's.
And it's not about the amount you imbibed. It's just that you go to so many, you forget which ones.
It says James Toner on it, and you go in there. It's one of the oldest. Yeah, you and I went there. It's a good pub.
I really like the Thomas More if you're looking for a place that's quiet, because a lot of the pubs will be very frequented, but that place is fantastic.
Damn it, man! You got me going back there. I just wish the result was better. Some news out of Florida State football that I did not get to, and I need to get to. Florida State hired former Mississippi State head coach Zach Arnett, added him to the coaching staff. He is an analyst now. This feels like big boy football, where you hire former head coaches to be analysts on your staff. How about that, buddy? Going to be working with Tony White. Okay. Yeah, they have a relationship that goes back to their days at New Mexico. And he was a graduate assistant under Rocky Long, and you know all about Rocky Long, obviously. We talk about way back when at San Diego State. So, buddy, do you like that move? You think that's a good move? Because I do.
Yeah. Look, at the analyst level, anybody with credentials to get in the room, it's another mind.
He was with Lane Kiffin last year.
Oh, boy. I'm sure he's got some stories about melting down in the swamp. Which, speaking of, we have our potential options for kickoff times for the Florida game. This is really goofy.
Weird.
It's not going to be a noon kick. That's what was announced today, essentially, because the times can be anywhere from 3:30 to 4:30 or 6 to 8. That is literally a graphic that they put out on Florida State. I'm going to share it for the people on Warchant TV. It's an awkward graphic to have to release, but they released it nonetheless. And it says, here are your options, 3:30 or 4:30 or 6 or 8. We'll see. So we know that the Florida game will not be a noon kickoff. There you go.
Very quickly, by the way, just so you know, I failed some of you. Again, Yeager, Griffin, Goddard, Ortiz, all guys that are potential, roster builders if you're going that route. Give you a couple of other guys here really quickly before we go to break. Do I want to give away this one? Hey, you know who I think will play well this week? Oddly, I think Victor Hovland's going to play well this week. So Hovland, you won't get him on the cheap. From Liv, obviously Rahm and Neiman. If you're going to go big names there, Neiman's playing very well right now, and Rahm is great at the U.S. Open. A bunch of top 20 finishes, so you just kind of, you play the odds there. Of course, sets up nicely for him. I'll give you a couple of others. Ludwig found his form last week. If this is a driver's course, Ludwig's a good choice. And then, a guy that's you can't watch him play, and it'll just drive you nuts. And he's never going to be a threat to win it despite having a great game. Patrick Cantlay is always there. He's that guy. He's like my Sung JM. I'll just pick him to make cut after cut after cut, especially at difficult golf courses. He's around. It's just he's annoying, and he plays very slow.
He's the Bran Flakes of the PGA Tour.
There's no question about that. Listen, I mention it often, but I want you guys to go to aboveandbeyondvr.com. Now, when you go to aboveandbeyondvr.com, you'll say, there are a lot of options here, because there are. There are over 30. And 18 of those options in terms of properties that they have for you to stay at with your friends, family, whatever it might be, have a pool. Some are directly on the Gulf. Some are right on the water. Some are luxurious condos. Others are cottages. They've got, they're right there there's a place right down by Dunedin where you just walk to the little park there and imbibe and listen to the music and enjoy the fare. It's all good. I don't mean the fare as in Ferris wheels and cotton. I'm talking about the food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good stuff there. Walking distance. A lot of options is what you want when you're trying to figure it out for you and your family. And these guys are Knowles. And they're saving you boatloads of money. Partly because if you go to aboveandbeyondvr.com to book a stay, you're not paying any of the middleman fees, no VRBO nonsense, none of those fees. And then you use my code, JCS, and you're going to save 10%. So if you were thinking about getting away for a little while, maybe spending a long weekend somewhere in late June, early July, before things get the hustle and bustle of the fall come back around, now's the time to do it and legitimately save yourself a ton of money. Go to aboveandbeyondvr.com and you get the added satisfaction of helping out some Knowles. And they're saving you money. You get a great property. You get your vacation on. Save money using the promo code JCS, aboveandbeyondvr.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Thunderstorms likely this afternoon. Otherwise, cloudy skies with a few peaks of sun. Daytime highs approaching 92. Southwest winds around 5 miles per hour. Lows dip down to about 73 tonight. Chance for storms. Partly cloudy skies tomorrow. Thunderstorms likely, high of 91. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Currently, it's 92 degrees.
Do you own a small business? Let me guess. You started your business so you could get bogged down with payroll and bookkeeping, office tasks, and other paperwork, right? Probably not. I'm Craig Collins with Collins Income Tax Solutions. Allow me to help you get out from behind your desk and get back to doing what you love. For any of your payroll, bookkeeping, or other business services, give me a call today and allow me to take it off your plate. You can find my contact information online at collinsincomeTaxSolutionsLLC.com.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear grass-stained sneakers, carry a lunchbox to work, and show up day after day with quiet strength. This Father's Day, Real Talk 93.3 and the law offices of Basic Brooks are looking for the real dads, and one of them will win the ultimate dad prize. Free tickets to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a free round of golf for 4, and a well-earned steak dinner. Thanks to Basic Brooks. If you know a dad who's given everything for his family, a father, a husband, friend, nominate them. Tell us what makes him great. His story could win him the ultimate dad prize he truly deserves. Submit your entry now at realtalk93.com, and we'll announce the winner live on the air Friday, June 13th. Let us know who you think should be crowned as the 2025 Real Dad.
There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's a Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds.
There's like, families. There's different families. And,
so if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch.
Or the Yeti. Right,
Yep,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape, and
never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I probably, let's see, could have probably picked, it's hard because it relies on another player, but Deuce Robinson's the other guy I could have gone with us. Feeling really good about it. They loved him in the spring, and obviously the measurables are the measurables.
They did. That depends on the offensive line to a degree. Pittman is going to bring value across the board. It's tough. There's a Q&A coming with Squirrel White on the boards at Warchant. Battle's End made some time. So Squirrel White Q&A will be available soon. Subscribers asking him questions. He could be one if he's healthy. Like if you knew for a fact that he was healthy on day one, you could pretty well bet that he could lead the team, probably should lead the team in catches.
Yeah.
And that would be a reasonable target for him to hit.
Are we seeing that this is confirmed that Danzy's out?
That is correct. Mekhi Danzy suffered a minor injury during training in the lead up to the national championships and will not be able to compete in the national championships.
God dog it.
Yeah.
That is frustrating. We just got done doing an article. Ira did. Good one.
Yeah. The royal we
at Warchant. Ira specifically. Just got done doing an article. Hey, listen, that's disappointing, and I'm sorry to hear that, and I wish the young man well. Tell you what, we better find a way to use that damn speed in the fall. Get your foot right. Let's go. Because that dude is fast as all hell. And there's no excuse when you got that kind of a blazer on your team not to find him in space and make opportunities available to. I mean, we did not have a lot of home run power.
No, and he ran some routes.
I mean,
that'll take your breath away last year. And you're just saying, throw the ball.
Get it up. Hey.
Get on up.
Throw it up. Let's go. Yeah. I know. It gets so easy, too. Coach Bowden would have been like, well, we're running the reverse. A, because he loved the reverse and thought it was the greatest play in football history. And B, towards the end there, he ran a reverse 4 times a game. But he never had Micah Dancy running a reverse.
They know it's coming, but they can't stop it.
Well, that kind of speed, man, that is true. Goodness gracious. Somebody earlier in the chat brought up concerns at running back. And I will tell you this. I don't have any concerns with the new running back, Usman Kroma. He is not, the person was questioning the speed. Yes, when you look at Kroma's huddle tape, you're not going to come away from watching that and say, oh, we got a burner. No, but he's a combination of a lot of really good things. He's a long strider. He's very strong. He's 215 pounds already, so he's a thick kid. He'll get here and get even stronger once they get him in the program, starts eating right, starts lifting every day the right way. He'll be 220 before you know it. And he's fast enough, but he'll break tackles, and he's got very good vision. So I think this is a kid coming into this program ready-made. I'm not telling you that a true freshman running back comes in ready-made to dominate, but I am telling you that I think he comes in more refined than the last time you got excited about a running back, which unfortunately is a running back we're no longer excited about, who lacked vision, had no breakaway speed, frankly didn't run all that tough for his size. So I think we're in good shape here. This kid checks the boxes.
Good open field moves, too. That's the thing that Chroma has. Basically everything but the breakaway speed, and you never know. Maybe through the strength training, he's able to create some burst for himself to get through the line with speed, explosiveness, and then you don't need the top end because you beat everybody, the first 10, 15 yards of the race. We'll see. It's a major concern, that position. Just what the rotation is going to be.
Yeah. It's Sawchuk and him and one other player.
Probably Roydell, but maybe. I don't know. I also want to see what the usage is like for RB2, RB3. How many multiple back sets do we have? Is Jalen Lucas going to line up there at slot? Mike Norvell wants you to be in the dark on it because
of whatever.
What could I do?
I'm with you on Jalen Lucas. He's the other running back. I don't even know if I consider him. I mean, he is, but look, I don't think Roydell is all that good. I know Cam Davis did nothing to get me excited about him. Sam Singleton's what he is. Nothing special. He's what he is. Really, that room can be described as nothing special. But I do think Sawchuk, you saw him put together high-level performances at Oklahoma, 4 straight 100-yard games, those kinds of things.
He can break tackles too. And that's not you need to block it up perfectly. He also, if you look at his tape, and I will use that because it's his college stuff.
Yes.
He has an excellent sense of timing. I'm not going to call it Chris Thompson level on the outside zone, but he will wait patiently on an outside zone run for it to get set up, then cut back.
It's a skill.
It fits also for gap schemes. He'll wait for the blockers to arrive.
Patience.
Yeah, if they run power. He gets the timing of those things. You could see how he fits what Gus is going to scheme up on the ground. That's an important thing.
If you want a surprise contributor, I can't tell you that I can guarantee this is going to happen, but if you want somebody that might surprise you, I would go with Caleb Lavalley, however he says his name. I apologize, Caleb, if you're listening.
They didn't practice.
But if that guy is healthy, I do like him because, again, he comes in at 6'2", 230, really looked good in the bowl game. Is a guy that I think, all right, let's see, didn't have a chance in the spring.
Well, you
banged up.
Certainly don't have a lack of contenders at linebacker this year, right? And contenders, I'm not saying good players. They have to prove it. But when you're talking about holdovers like Juice Cryer and Omar Graham, and then you've got newbies and Thompson and Herring, I got to throw Nicholson in there in the guys that are coming back. And then the mystery of Lavalle. Yeah, I mean, you got 6 dudes. I think I'm missing one, probably so. But you're going to have 6 or 7 combatants there for the job.
Yeah, he's a kid that's played in 15 college football games. He started only one, but he got on the field as a redshirt freshman right off the bat in 2024 and was in the Fenway Bowl against UConn. He led the Tar Heels with 9 tackles, 2 tackles for losses against UConn. That's the game that I saw where I went, oh. And the next thing you knew, and it was funny because they were heralding him as an emerging star at North Carolina, and one of their writers had just tweeted out about, if you can believe anything about next year's team, it's that Caleb is going to be a star, and he's transferring. And it was glorious. So we'll see. But I would pick him to emerge as a potential player that gets more time than we're expecting. I'm not telling you he's going to be a great player. I'm not telling you he's going to be a star. He just may end up getting more time than a lot of people realize. We didn't even really get to mention his name in the spring because he got dinged.
As many did.
Well, buddy, it seemed like the entirety of that team was dinged in the spring, which made it all the more frustrating when I went to the scrimmage.
Deuce and Squirrel.
Deuce didn't play in the scrimmage. Squirrel didn't play in the scrimmage. The entire offensive line didn't play in the scrimmage. Caleb didn't play in the scrimmage. There was just an awful lot of not playing in the scrimmage.
Jason Jenkins is hurt.
Well,
yeah. That one hurts.
I'm still pissed about it because they can get mad if they want to get mad. He ain't playing. He's not playing early, I can tell you that. And I'd be very surprised if he plays at all this year. And that stinks because I'm with you on that. I thought that was a good get.
Yeah, front line of him and Darryl and James Williams, that'll do in theory.
Who? Okay, so I just got done talking about Caleb really quickly. The only linebacker It's not Stephon Thompson, I'll tell you that right now, just based on his career numbers. The only linebacker you feel good about is Elijah Herring. Now, you may think that Omar Graham's going to take a step forward. He might.
I think Juice will.
I like Juice. He's a smart player. I'd love to see him emerge in some ways. I'm hoping Caleb, as I just got done saying, but man, I'm very curious to see. You really only need, the two linebackers.
Depending on what the front is.
Well,
he wants three so he can put 3 down linemen up front.
Are they even calling it that though? Like, isn't Amari the jack?
Oh, he'll mix and match. You're going to have to see it because, he could have a set percentage of plays that he wants to run with different sets.
Yeah.
With 3 down, like 3 true linemen and 3 true linebackers. But these are the puzzle pieces he's got this year. So it's really hard to project because this is a transitional year for the coordinator. He doesn't have all his guys. So you could have 2 linebackers out there most of the time. It's really hard to say.
Yeah, frustrating to lose Jason Jenkins. At least, I thought we were going to get a guy that was going to come in and really have a chance to contribute quite right away. Yeah, he would have been the guy. Didn't happen. I blame you.
That's fine. I've been blamed for a lot of things.
Oh, the frustration. We'll see. Anyway, so there you go. There's a little name. We'll mark the time. We'll play it when he has 12 tackles against Alabama. Look at Caleb.
2 sacks, forced fumble, defensive touchdown.
Bonus hour forthcoming. Stay with, kids.
Craving something different? Discover the bold and surprising flavors of Peru at Café de Martín. From sizzling lomo saltado to savory handmade empanadas, every dish is made with heart, history, and soul. Crafted by classically trained Chef Martín himself. It's not just food. It's a trip to Peru without the plane ticket. Swing by Café de Martín today and taste the tradition. Café de Martín. Authentic Peruvian. Right around the corner.
Everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still